it's Wes, and today we are continuing our look at tripods with the Sirui AM254 tripod legs. Starting with the build quality. There aren't a lot of surprises here with the AM254. Now, this doesn't come with a tripod head, so you can put whatever you want on top of there. We have a 3/8 inch screw on the top, nice and big. Has some pretty standard looking carbon fiber. Our leg locks are a lot of aluminum, which is very nice. Let's take it apart and look inside. As you can see on the back of the legs, we have a very small and flimsy plastic piece or Teflon piece for the slider and to prevent it from twisting. Unfortunately, this is kind of a failure point for me for most tripods. It'd be nice if they came up with something a little bit sturdier to hold that in place. And when we look inside the leg locks, we don't have the O-rings like the ST124 has. Down at the bottom here, we have metal and rubber feet that unscrew and can be replaced pretty easily with spiked feet. There we go. However, it's not like a built-in spike as some other tripods have, such as Sirui's ST124, as you can see right here. Makes things a little finikier. I'd hate to be out on a hike or something and drop this. Got our aluminum detents here. Everything is pretty solid. I don't want to say run-of-the-mill, but again, no surprises. So for the build quality, we're going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Feature set. This weighs 1 kilogram. It can get down to 6 centimeters because, as you can see, there is no center column. Why would you ever want a tripod with no center column? Well, sometimes you need to get low, and having to invert or take off or reconfigure the center column is just a pain in the butt. And if that's something that you're liable to be doing on a regular basis, this is far more convenient. Another feature is these dual position shoulder locks, so you can be in the spring position, or if you go further, it locks out for easy motion, which is great, and it automatically snaps back in once you reach the edge of the range. One feature we're missing, again, is possibly O-rings. We don't have built-in leg spikes. There is a measurement scale on the bottom here, so you can see how far you've brought your center leg out. So we have 10 millimeters, 30 millimeters, all the way up to 280 millimeters, so that you can easily measure how much you're putting out that last segment. Let's say you have a certain site that you set up to on a regular basis, then you'll know exactly where to set those tripod legs to get them in position. And you might need that because this is lacking a bubble level. You will have to hope that there is one on your tripod head that you put on that. And this lacks something that some tripods now have, a single point leg release where you just hit one thing and the whole thing comes up or down. Oh. Lacking those O-rings. I already have some sand in this. I'm gonna have to open it up and clean it out. For feature set, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. It's pretty much everything that you want and no extra bells and whistles. Stability. This thing fared surprisingly well. We take a force meter and we measure exactly how much force is required to bend the legs and also how much force is required to twist the entire tripod. And so for leg twisting resistance, once we add in the ratio of length versus twist, we have 23.16 Newton meters. And then for leg bend, we have 29.25 Newton meters, which actually gets pretty high up on our scale. One feature that this tripod kind of lacks is height. This is the maximum height of the tripod, 120 centimeters. It's not even in frame. So because the legs aren't incredibly long and there is no center column, this is how tall the tripod is, and you're kind of just stuck there. You can buy an actual center column that screws on top of here, but then that becomes incredibly inconvenient because it doesn't really collapse into itself, and these aren't reversible legs like some travel tripods are. So for stability, this thing is about as strong as a normal tripod is going to be without having much larger video legs, so this is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. Solid. Metaphorically and literally. Usability, again, we have a very tried and true design here. You don't need a manual to figure out how to use this tripod. No surprises. It doesn't have the single point releases. It's just a good execution of the basics. It's an 8 out of 10. Value, our last category. This comes in at $130. Honestly, that's a little bit surprising to me. This is a solid tripod for Not a bad amount of money. Let's compare. This tripod right here that we're recording on, the newer carbon fiber tripod, comes with a head for $121. It is not as stable as this, nor is the build quality quite as nice. However, it does have a center column. That's something. Let's compare it to other name brand carbon fiber tripods that don't come with a head. Have a Sunway Photo for $220 US, Gazelle CT 3402, $350. There is the Sirui ET1204 for $200. Doesn't compare with itself very well. And for, you know, some really nice legs, you can get the Really Right Stuff TVC 33 for $1,100 and the Gitzo Systematic Series 5 for $1,420. That is more than 10 times as much money as this. I would love to try it out, but I don't have that kind of money, unless, you know, Gitzo wants to send me that, and see what the deal is with a tripod costing 10 times as much money as this. So for value, it's not the cheapest, but it's a solid tripod for a decent amount of money, 9 out of 10 for value. That gets us a total score of 82%. Since this doesn't come with a tripod head, there are some ways that we can't compare it to other things. But overall, if you just need some legs and you don't want the center column, this is a solid buy. So until next time, let's go take some photos.